Happy Saturday, everybody. Today's November 8th. Let's talk about the games happened on Friday. It's a big night. A lot of NBA Cups game going on. The first one is the Magic beat the Celtics. I think the scores is 123-110. We have Jalen Brown going off again, 32 points, 9 rebound. Look, the fact that he took 28 shots is a pretty good indication that Brown is his 82nd ranked player. Like averaging 28 points is fine, shooting 53%, but he's not really doing anything else. Not a lot of defensive stats. Shooting kind of bad from the free throw line, which we already know, 77%. But it's good to bet his points over pretty consistently. He's hitting that. When you have such high usage, 28 points. And I feel like the opposing defense, they are more than happy. Just let him take all the shots he could. And, not letting Peyton Pritchard go off, for example. Peyton Pritchard has started playing a lot better. If you ball low on him, that's great. I think the guy should be averaging, close to 20 points at the very least. He's only averaging 16.5 and only 2 threes. I mean, at least 3.5 threes, I feel like, for Peyton Pritchard. He's getting the minutes, so that's great. And he's getting 5 assists a game while only turning the ball over 1.4 times. So I think he's got a lot of room to go up. He's only shooting sub 80% from the free throw line as well. So as the season goes on, I feel like, maybe just learning how to play with these guys a little bit more, he'll get better. Derrick White also finally had a great one. 10 assists, 3 steals, and a block, 16 points, and he's still struggling shooting the basketball. The rest of these guys like Fernie Simons, Sam Hauser, I don't even know we can trust him right now for 3-point streaming unless somebody else is hurt. Nemias, I think he's a must roster. He's been getting consistent 30 minutes, a starting center. He is right now the 88th ranked player, averaging 1.4 blocks, but only playing 23 minutes. And, this guy Josh, look, he's not really getting 30 minutes, so unless there's a back-to-back, not too interesting in him anyway. For the Magic, Franz Wagner, Ben Carroll. Ben Carroll had a pretty rough one, 15 points, but he was a plus 25, so that's great. But when is he going to improve his efficiency? I don't know. He's still basically the same player. Hasn't really improved, in fantasy at least. Maybe in real life he did. Wagner had a good one with 27 points. And Desmond Bain had a good one as well, 22 points. I would look to sell Desmond Bain high. I think it's just hard for him to find enough usage on this team on most nights. So if you can get him for a top 30, 40 player, maybe he'll go on a week or two where he goes off. But on the season, he's a 182nd ranked player. So averaging just 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 threes. That's a concern, and only hitting 1.3 threes. And Jalen Suggs had 5 fouls. Jalen Suggs is a must roster. He's up and down. He gets hurt a lot, but he needs to be rostered mainly for the defensive stats in category leagues. And Wendell Carter Jr., who has been playing fairly well. If you need rebound and you need a big man that can shoot threes, he's not bad. All right, moving on to the next game, we have, the Cavaliers put up 148 points. They beat the Wizards. This is an NBA Cup game, so you even when the game is out of reach, you still want to win because the point differential matters. But I guess the Cavs didn't even care. They're like, Donovan, 25 minutes is enough for you. 24 points is good, 4 threes and 4 steals and a block. But they still end up winning by 30 plus points. Darius Garland with 4 threes, 9 assists, 20 points. Look, if you play the Wizards and you don't have a good game, that's on you. Jared Allen also 16 points, 14 rebounds, 2 steals and a block. Mobley did his thing, right? Everybody played well. Nobody played over 30 minutes on this team. For the Wizards, I think Alex Sarr he's just going off every single game. And again, he is the 23rd ranked player right now. If you can trade him to get Chet Holmgren, if you can trade him to get Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, maybe do a 2-for-1. I'm looking to sell this guy high, but yeah, I wouldn't trade him for a top 50 player because he might just do that this season. In category leagues, because he's averaging 2.4 blocks, and averaging 19 points and 8 rebounds. The concern with him is, look, we know Wizards going to be bad. how much are they gonna play him till the end? But he's not even playing that high minutes, 28 minutes a game. So if he's healthy, right, they might sit him out on a back-to-back, but he's still going to play for the most part. So that's one bright spot on the Wizards. Meanwhile, everybody else, Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum played 27 minutes. Well, good to see Bob Carrington got the start playing 28 minutes, had 11 assists. He could be a stream assist guy, but that's really hard. Like, he doesn't get a lot of defensive stats. He's not going to score a lot. His efficiency is not that great, so if you need assists, you could have him. Maybe he will improve later on the season. And Keyshawn George is also out this game, so they started Trey Johnson with 18 points. Sure. This Wizards team, at some point, they're not going to play CJ and Chris Middleton. They're just here to get paid, really, these two guys, which is fine. Chris Middleton, you already got you already got your ring, right? So, The next one, the Raptors beat the Atlanta Hawks. Still no Trae Young. Jacob Poeltl finally started playing a little bit better and better. Had 4 fouls here, 10 rebounds, and still in the block. Brandon Ingram, he switched teams a couple times, but what I will say this year is that Ingram is getting a lot of defensive stats, by his standard. Averaging 0.9 steals. For him, that's good. And 0.7 blocks. That's not bad. And he's having a good year. Overall also being fairly efficient. Really depend. I mean, he's kind of injury prone as well. Really depend on where Raptors gonna go this year. But he's putting up 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Right? He fit right in. So that's great. Scotty Barnes. The problem with him is just the efficiency. Still in 2 blocks is great. Added 10 rebounds, and RJ had 19 points and 2 3. Then hit his free throws. If RJ Barrett can hit his free throws, his value goes up tremendously. As a matter of fact, he's a 58th ranked player right now, averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds. RJ is a guy that I'll also try to sell high, right? If you can get a top 50 player, top 60 player, absolutely do it. Especially if you're not punting free throws. He's shooting 54% from the field right now, over 50. He's not gonna do that, consistently. And Emmanuel Quickly also had a great one with 3 threes, 3 steals, 6 assists, 18 points. I was talking about Emmanuel Quickly. He's been very disappointing over the years, right? Every single year he's getting drafted fairly high. I don't know, I forgot. And last year he had a lot of hype coming in because he got traded to the team, right? A young point guard. He gets a lot of free throws, super good free throw shooter, right? Gets you a bunch of assists. But, he's been hurt all the time. And even when he's healthy, he's been disappointing as well. But this is great. This is a great game. For the Atlanta Hawks, Jalen Johnson have 6 turnovers. Well, he's hitting his free throws. Jalen Johnson's problem is his efficiency. Like counting stat-wise, he's fine. Jalen Johnson so far is the 35th ranked player, shooting 82%. That's amazing, but if he can stay over 80, yes. But let's say he's shooting 73%, which he could very be rest of the season, right? He's going to be outside of that 50. And so far this year, like his efficiency has been amazing. Maybe he improved because this is another year. But for him, it's really about the efficiency. And this year really he hasn't really been getting any blocks, 0.3 blocks through 8 games. So efficiency this year improved a lot, but the counting numbers so far isn't really there yet. Kristaps Porzingis struggled massively, 4 for 16, but 4 blocks, 17 points, and he's healthy. He's playing. That's fine. Dyson Daniels is putting up nice numbers, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals and block, but again, he still struggled. The Raptors, the Hawks shot 34% here. Okongwu also struggled, but let's not do anything stupid with him. He remains to be a must roster, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker is really the only guy who shot the ball well. I guess Jalen Johnson too, 20 points. He's a must roster until Trey comes back. So let's roster him, and who knows? When Trey comes back, if he can still get 30 minutes, like he could have some value in fantasy, especially in category, because he get you a bunch of defensive stats. And Ricochet, let's not touch him. He's a pretty disappointing guy as a second pick so far. The next game is the Detroit Pistons. They beat the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, we'll get to them later, but the the Detroit Pistons, they're winning games, and Isaiah Stewart has been playing really, really well. I think he's almost a must roster because the high blocks, but too bad he got hurt. He was playing fairly well before he got hurt, right? 2 for 2, 4 points, 3 rebounds. Like, okay, right? Jalen Duren, how about him? I think he's a big sell high right now. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals. Kate Cunningham had 10 assists, 34 points, also a big game. Yeah, I mean, this game they played the Brooklyn Nets. And Jalen Duren is the 19th ranked player, shooting 85% from the free throw line. Yeah, that's what happens beginning of the season, right? You have these guys like, I would trade him for any top 30, top 40 player right now. Yeah, try to maybe do a 2-for-1, try to get AD. I just don't believe Jalen Duren. In category leagues, really, he doesn't really block a lot of shots. 1.2 blocks is okay for him, but he's not going to average 19 points. And look at his minutes. He's only playing 27 minutes too. My feeling is, I mean, I obviously need to go back to see. Detroit just played a lot of bad teams, and he could go for 30 when he's having a good night, because the defense, they're just not going to adjust for Jalen Duren, right? They're doing everything to stop Kate Cunningham. But if Jalen Duren actually become a problem, right, the defense is going to switch up. I don't think he's actually a problem right now, just getting a lot of easy buckets. For the Brooklyn Nets, our friend Michael Porter Jr., he hasn't really missed a lot of games, which is great. Again, I'll try to sell high on him. 28 points, 5 threes. It's all good. It's great. 7 for 7 from the free throw line. But his fantasy game is just never really going to improve. He's really never going to get a lot of defensive stats. And, assists always be an issue. Although this year, I think he's shooting. He kind of have to play a lot, do some playmaking. So he's been improving in that department. Claxton, I'll try to sell high on him. Another great one. And Clowney, if you want to roster him for now, that's fine. It's just the efficiency could be a concern. 4 threes and 19 points. And Terrence Mann played 21 minutes. Igor, whoever this guy is, played 23 minutes. Cam Thomas is being out. But we can't really trust anybody on the Brooklyn Nets because the minutes from game to game you don't know, right? This guy Drake had 27 minutes out of nowhere. But the Brooklyn Nets, you know how they are. They're just there, get paid, put up some numbers. That's it. They're gonna have to tank for a couple more years. They're really in a bad situation because they went all in, right? They lose all their picks. Which I don't even know this year they had their picks. What's the point of tanking? But yeah, they're gonna kind of have to tank for a couple more years. The next one is the Spurs. Well, this is kind of a heavyweight. The Spurs beat the Rockets. Şengün had a good one. Şengün always play fairly well versus Wemby. Wemby is actually a good matchup for him, especially if they play one-on-one and just let Şengün cook, because he can't just get in the paint and then have a hook shot over Wemby and scores. 9 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal and a block. Great game. And KD struggled again for his standard. I mean, especially if you look at 8 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, he just had a bad game. And KD, he's regressing a little bit this year in terms of scoring because 24 points is still okay, but like KD would average like over 25 pretty much. He has averaged over 25 for how many years? And this year specifically, like he's getting to the line a lot, which is great. 7.8 times. That's still good. And he's getting a lot of steals. 1 steal for him. 0.9 blocks. Maybe he can get a little bit more blocks. But look, now making a lot of threes. 1.6 threes. Not a lot of rebounds by his standard because this Rockets team is big. He's not going to get a lot of rebounds. He's not doing a lot of playmaking either. 2.6 assists, considering they don't have Fred VanVleet. So they don't want him to play make. So it's just, okay, he's scoring points efficiently. Well, he's only shooting 47% as well. So it's like, okay, across the board, KD's numbers are down. He should be better than this. So I would, look, some of those, like Alex Sarr, right? Alex Sarr for KD straight up. Depend on what you need, but that could be a good trade. A bit of buy low, in my opinion. Jabari Smith, but he's not going to be, I feel like, a top 20 player this year, no. Amen Thompson, also massively overdrafted on the draft day. 14 points. I mean, these are good numbers, but for a guy that's getting drafted in the second round, he's nowhere near. He's a 136 run player. And his upside is top 10 player, sure, when he get average 4 steals and 3 blocks in 1 week. Um, but just, yeah, the fluctuations for these type of players are pretty crazy. And Taro Eason, I don't think we need to roster him, so feel free to drop. For the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, he's he's also been struggling quite a bit the last couple of games. He's right now the third ranked player. But look, if I can't trade Luka to get Victor, I still would. So he's going through some growing pains right now because the defense is adjusting how to guard him. He's gonna figure it out, or the Spurs gonna help him out. Well, we have De'Aaron Fox coming back tonight, so maybe things could change. They're gonna figure out a way to get him going offensively. Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox is gonna be back. He's still gonna get a lot of minutes, but he's improving, right? He had 13 assists here, 2 steals and block, great. But the high turnovers, the bad efficiency is still gonna be with him for a while. Devin Vassell hit 4 threes, that's great. And oh my God, these guys, I mean, Champagne hit 6 threes, 22 points. And Harrison Baum hit 6 threes. Yeah, they just shot the ball pretty well on 3 this game. Considering Rockets is a great defensive team, but, they probably because the way they guarded Wemby, a lot of guys are just open on the perimeter a lot. So this is a great win by the Spurs, of course. Moving on to the next one, the Miami Heat, they beat the Charlotte Hornets. And, of course, LaMelo Ball is out here. And we have Trey Mann taking 24 shots. Not bad. So if LaMelo Ball is out again, look, and Colin Sexton is also out. Like, this guy, Zion, Trey, right? Oh, my God. Like, Miles Bridges and Kong, they play 40 minutes. So, yeah, they become must rosters for sure, must streams, and sell highs as well. Especially Kong, 40 minutes, took 23 field goals. I mean, he's a great shooter, I'm sure. 5 threes, 30 points, a steal and a block. And look, when you play the Charlotte Hornets, you're not really designing, unless it's LaMelo, right? You're letting these guys do whatever they want on the offensive end. So, if you have enough volume, you're gonna put up numbers. So Miles Bridges, consider everything, like he's not good. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists is okay. And Ryan Kalkbrenner continues to go off with 4 blocks and 5 rebounds, 4 of them being offensive. 5 for 7, great. He even took a 3. So yeah. And for the Heat, okay, this is a Kel Weir time. Bam Adebayo is out. So if he's on the waiver wire, for sure pick him up. But you can see why he's not getting major minutes in a wing like this, right? He's actually at -3, 7 points, went 7 for 13, right? Struggle offensively. He's putting up defensive numbers, but yeah, there's a reason he's not getting a lot of minutes right now. So I would try to sell high on him if I could. I don't know how long Bam is, like, against some bad teams. Well, they did play a bad team. Like, he could absolutely go off for like 20 points, 14 rebounds with 3 blocks and 2 steals. He could have those type of games, but most nights he's not going to do much. He's just not that good at the moment. And the Miami Heat, they're trying to win, so they're not going to give him too many minutes unless Bam gets hurt. Andrew Wiggins had a decent one, to be expected, when you play a Mickey Mouse team. And Norman Powell just putting up numbers. In 27 minutes, he had 25 points. Tyler Hill is going to be back. So I would use this opportunity to sell Norman Powell, try to sell David Mitchell. Norman Powell is ranked very high, very, very high. And 26 ranked player, yeah. Averaging 23 points, shooting 47%, and 95% from the free throw line with 3 threes. Yeah, like any top 30 player, any top 40 player, I wouldn't think twice to trade Norman Powell. Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, he give you threes and points with great efficiency. Doesn't really do anything else. And Triple J, Jaime Jaquez Jr., 32 minutes, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists. I think he definitely could be rostered right now, especially with Bam out. Like, he come off the bench. He's put up a lot of big games already. But these guys, they don't have long-term value on the Heat for sure. No long-term value. The next one, both teams are in a mess right now. I would say the Mavericks, every time Luka plays better, really, really good, the Mavs, they're gonna be like, wow. And their situation, of course, AD, Kyrie, right, they hurt. But even everybody is healthy, I don't know how much upside. And they got D'Lo, who plays 60 minutes off the bench. Like their ceiling, their ceiling is nowhere as high as like with Luka on the team. Because with Luka, right, they have a legit shot beating OKC and many other teams in the West. Um, but we know Luka doesn't really play defense, right? That's always been a problem for him. But with this team, right, they just I don't see they have any shot beating any of the top teams in the West. Um, yeah, and Cooper Flag like played 27 minutes. Like he's putting up okay numbers, but for a guy that's getting drafted in the fourth round, it's just way too much hype. I'm sure he'll improve, but so far not really. Max Christie is a must roster at the moment. We'll see what happens with his minutes, but he's starting, have really good usage and putting up really good numbers for now. So let's roster him if he's still on the waiver wire. PJ Washington, big sell high. I think when AD comes back, right, the usage it's got to come down quite a bit. And Daniel Gafford did absolutely nothing in 12 minutes. For the Grizzlies, Ja Morant, okay, 7 for 20, 21 points. He's a plus 28, so that's finally right. I had a decent game, but still struggled from the field. There's a lot of drama with him. So let's see how what is the Grizzlies, what they want. Do they want to keep him? They got to make a decision. How about Cedric Coward? In my opinion, he's a must roster. He's getting close to 30 minutes, and he just plays really, really well. He just find a way. 47th ranked player. Of course, try to sell high if you can. I mean, his value mainly just coming from the efficiencies, and he's a good rebounder, I guess, and give you some points. Yeah, his efficiency has been unreal, and they're giving him minutes, 20 minutes a night, 30 minutes a night, and his minutes have been creeping up too. So must roster. Try to sell high if you can. Like he could be the one guy like 2-for-1, right? Put him in the 2-for-1 deal. Because his value could go away if some of those guys started coming back. Jerry Jackson Jr., very, very disappointing. Jerry Jackson Jr. And it could be a case I'm buying low on him. Like if I got Norman Powell, right, for Jerry Jackson Jr. straight up, yes, I would absolutely do that. He has a lot of upside with blocks. So far, he's just not blocking 2 minutes. 1.5 is okay. But, yeah. Jock Landale, yeah, for now, let's roster him, see how things go. And Santi Aldama, play 20 minutes off the bench. I don't think Santi Aldama is a must roster because he just doesn't get enough minutes. And he doesn't provide enough value across the board. Like, he can get you some rebounds, some points, but that's about it. And some threes as a big man. Great win for the Grizzlies, though, even though they just beat, Well, the next one, the Bucks, they are rolling at the moment in the regular season. They beat the Bulls, but the Bulls were kind of hot to start off the season. Josh Giddey, 14 assists is great, 7 rebounds. But at the end of the day, right, if you're going to draft him in the second round, for him to be a second-round player, his efficiency must improve and his defensive stats must improve, which none of those things did. He's still, let's look up his, despite the Conti numbers look really, really good, Josh Giddey is, 42nd round player is still very good. But that's him averaging almost a triple-double. 22 points, 2 threes, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. And we look at the other stats, 0.9 steals, I guess for him it's okay, 0.3 blocks. And he's actually shooting the ball fairly well, 49%, but 73% from the free throw line. And 3.6 turnovers. So he's just not on a per game basis across 9 categories. He's just not going to be a second round player, which is fine, right? If you are looking for rebound and assists. So I think when you draft Josh Giddey, 9-point assist is huge actually. So you probably want to pound. You might as well just pound turnovers, and then you want to have a team that have a lot of assists and a lot of rebounds. Like you pair him up with Jokic. Your team is in a really good spot when it comes to rebound and assist. But the 73% from the free throw line shooting percentage is kind of tough. Trey Jones, 17 points. He's a must roster. Vucevic every single year continues to play well. And Matas popped off with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals and a block with 2 threes. Yeah, he has a lot of upside. So he's gonna be up and down, but this is a great game. And we look at the Bucks. Giannis is just ridiculous. Giannis and Luka this year, and Giannis, Luka, LeBron comes back, right? He might chill a little bit, let LeBron cook. But Giannis, he's gonna have to do this all season, which I do worry. Like, look, for Giannis, right? It's all about the playoffs. Putting up numbers in the regular season doesn't mean anything for a player like Giannis. So, in the East, you're probably in control a lot of the times. Maybe give the ball to some of the other guys and let them cook a little bit. You don't have to go 100% every single game. But for fantasy owners, that's great. Almost a triple-double with 2 steals and 2 blocks. But he took 32 shots, right? Why not give more shots to Ryan Rollins? By the way, Ryan Rollins is amazing. With the news, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be out for a while. Like, he might be pick up the year. And he's just really good. Ryan Rollins on the season, 38 ranked player. Like, sure, you want to sell high, but I want to get like a minimum top 40 player back. Or top 50, depending on what kind of numbers you look. He's just really, really good efficiency-wise. But counting number-wise, 17 points is solid with 5 assists. On top of it, 2 steals is crazy. So he's overperforming a little bit. So if I can get a top 40, 50 player, I would. Otherwise, why bother? Just keep it. AJ hit 2 threes. But Giannis, you got to – everything is going through you. So try to get your teammates more involved. I would say Miles Turner had 14. Like, I would make a point to help Miles Turner get more shots in a corner. I'm sure he's open a lot of the times. 23 points, 4 steals and a block, 8 rebounds. So Miles Turner is a huge buy low. Maybe the window is closed a little bit after this game. Moving on to the next one. Oh my God, we have the Kings getting destroyed by the Timberwolves, 97-1. And this is the problem with this Jazz team is they're not winning anything, and you have Walker Kessler already off for season. Lauren Markin had a great start. If you couldn't sell high on him, now just hold, and you just hope he play as many games. And you just hope he still play games when we get to March. If your fantasy playoffs if your league is still going on in March. But if your league ends like early, the concern really maybe isn't as bad. But in the West, we're gonna find out pretty soon that they're gonna be out of the playoff spot, and they're gonna play some of their young guys like Filipowski. Right, he could have good value as we get to the end of the season. Right, they're gonna start him now. Yusuf Nurkic, start giving him 30 minutes. Yusuf Nurkic right now, yeah, he's getting minutes. Why not roster him and see how things go? Keontae George had 18 points. He cooled off a little bit here, and Isaiah Collier, if you need assists, he could be a good streamer. But yeah, let's see. He just give you assists, nothing else. We look at the Timberwolves, and how about Julius Randle? So Anthony Edwards has been back the last 2 games. Randle continues to play well. He's playing the playmaker. 12 assists, 10 rebounds, a steal in 26 minutes is crazy. Had 19 points as well. Rudy, and he has 7 turnovers, and this is versus a bad team. So, Rudy had a big one as well. 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, and Anthony Edwards goes off with 37 points. It's all good. 137 points. Right, and then Jaden McDaniels could not miss a shot as well. So when you play the Jazz, it's fine. Like, it's expected that you go off like this. Moving on to the next game, we got 2 more games. The Denver Nuggets, the Warriors, they had a good start, and then they lost. Curry got hurt, Jimmy Butler got hurt. Now they're 5-5. So it looks like this is another year that Warriors are fighting for their life to make the playoffs. And a lot of guys, Jimmy Butler gets hurt a lot. He already got hurt. I think he's back, right? So he did not have the best game here. Because of the blowout, the minutes a little bit low across the board. Nobody played well. Kaminga went 3 for 10, right? Denver, you know, they're a championship team, so they're gonna play defense, or they're gonna play defense certain way that makes sure that you're not gonna score, right? You're not getting to your spots very easily. This game, the plan is to let Draymond Green go off, and he did. 5-3, 17 points, and still in block, while everybody else struggled. Um, yeah. For Denver, Jokic is just so easy. 28 minutes, 26 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Another easy night. Jamal Murray shot the ball really well. 23 points, 8 assists, 5 threes, 2 steals, and a block. Aaron Gordon had 18 points in 23 minutes. Yeah, this Denver team, the difference is this year is they're very deep. They got Peyton Watson, they got Bruce Brown coming off the bench. They even have Valanciunas, which in theory would help, Jokic getting a little bit of rest. So, but the team is still nothing without Jokic. So, but they got a little more deep. Cameron Johnson, I think maybe Jokic got to find him a couple more shots. He has not played well. And, I mean, on most nights, he should still get 30 minutes. It just, when he gets 30 minutes, he doesn't do anything with it. Definitely not a must roster, but if you want 3-point efficiency, you want to hold on to him for a little bit longer, that's fine. But yeah, like Christian Brown is getting a lot of shots, just not a lot for Cameron Johnson. They should find a way to figure out a way to get him more involved on offense. The last game of the night is OKC. Well, they're not 9-1 right now without Jalen Williams. They're rolling at the moment, and Shea had 30 points. The problem with Shea is, fantasy-wise, is OKC is so good that he doesn't really get to play a lot. And efficiency is great, 2 steals and a block. But last year, he was getting like almost 3 steals a game. So a lot of numbers. Shea is still the 4th-ranked player. Averaging 1.2 blocks is crazy, but his steals numbers dipped in a major way. 1 steal, right? Everything else looks still fine. And, he has 6 assists right now. So he's doing a lot of playmaking too. We look at Cason Wallace did his thing in 27 minutes. AJ Mitchell started, and he popped off with 10 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Right? This is why we want to stream these guys, because one of them, like Isaiah Joe, also had a good game. Coming off the bench, had 3 threes and 14 points with a steal. Shea Holmgren had 5 fouls, but who cares? And Isaiah Hartenstein also just absolutely popped off with 33 points and 19 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks. And real stuff. Okay, it's just too easy for OKC. And for the Kings, shooter versus OKC defense, yeah. 8 assists, he couldn't do anything, but still had 8 assists. Went 0 for 10, that's got to be a record. The worst. When was the last time somebody took 10 shots, couldn't make 1 single field goal? We might need to go back. I don't remember seeing that. A guy that's took more shots than me and could not make a single field goal. Pretty rough, but so far he's played really well. Russell Westbrook, every single game he's been playing really, really well. 24 points here. But is that winning basketball? 7 turnovers, 9 assists. Like, the numbers look very, very good for Russell Westbrook. But the Kings, they got to win games. DeMar DeRozan, 18 points, and Zach LaVine had 9. Just 9 points. Because Russ has such a high usage when he has the ball in his hands. They got to figure it out. Drew Eubanks started. Yeah. The Kings are a mess right now. Sabonis out, being in and out of the lineup. And I just don't know if their lineup makes sense. They have so many guards. Right now they're playing Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine, Shooter, and DeRozan. They're starting these guys. Is that a winning formula? We're going to have to see. Otherwise, the Kings, they're going to be out of the playoffs very soon. And that's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.